not much good at IT, useless, so we started with that. But it's just great. I used to often say to myself, God, I'd love to do the main job that I'm called to do, which is talk. So I want to thank, I sincerely want to say a word of thanks first of all to Fr for all that she has done and indeed is doing for this special couple of weeks or months on prayer. I think it's a great service to us all. So I just want to say that, Fr, at the very beginning. It's an amazing hard work, and for someone who has been in a retreat house myself and trying to organise things, I know what that is. So thanks to Fr for that. I'm very conscious too that this is a school of prayer, and as I understand it, what you're trying to do is hear about different kinds of prayer. Some of them you like, and some of them you won't. Some of them will touch you, and some of them won't, because they're different types of prayer. And I think that's very, very important. But that the aim of the exercise is that at the end of this school of prayer, you'll have some idea of what kind of prayer suits you best. And so don't be one bit afraid, I think. What I say tonight might mean nothing to you. That won't worry me one bit. Honestly, it won't. As long as you think about it, and as long as it might help you at the end of, as I say, the 3 months, to find your own way. That's what's important. The kind of prayer I want to talk to you about this evening is one. I don't do it all the time. I used to do it more than I do it now, because I think you move on as well and you incorporate other types. But I think I go back to it every now and again, and I think it helps me, and hopefully it might help you as well. Now, my main worry right now is that I'll have too much to say. That's all, you would believe that. Some people, their worry is that they won't have enough to say. But thank God, I don't know why, my worry is always that I won't have enough time. I have an awful lot to say. So I'd ask you, I've made out, what's the word I'm looking for? An outline here of what I'm going to be talking about. Now, that's to help you afterwards. So I prefer if you weren't looking at it during the session. But it's very detailed. And you just, maybe you'll refer to it, but don't be staring at it and wonder, because it will put me off. And wonder what point is he at now. So, yeah, and I mightn't finish it all. So, that's just for afterwards. I want to begin just with a short reading from Scripture, and it's from St. Matthew's Gospel, chapter 6. And, Jesus is very definite on prayer. He's very clear, and he says very clearly to the people, when you pray, don't be like those who want to be seen. They love to stand and pray in the synagogues or on the street corners to be seen by everyone. I assure you, they've already had their reward. And when you pray, don't use a lot of words, as the pagans do, for they think that the more they say, the more they will be heard. Don't be like them. Your Father knows what you need, even before you ask Him. So when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who's in that secret place. And your Father who sees all that's kept in secret will reward you. Now, we'll come back to that in a few minutes. I used to have a great interest in drama, less so now. I used to go to a lot of plays. And one of my favourite playwrights was Brian Friel. And way back now, it's a long time, he wrote, I think, what was his best play. It's called, if you've seen it, Philadelphia. Philadelphia, here I come. And the theme of that prayer is communication. But in rural Ireland, it's the difficulty a young farmer son, if you like, was having trying to talk to his father. He'd love to talk to him, but he just couldn't. There was nothing new about that, or maybe it hasn't changed that much. And the whole play is about, Gar is his name is Gar. He's decided he's so fed up of life in rural Ireland, the lack of communication, especially within the family and with his father, he decides he's going to head off to Philadelphia and the bright lights. And the whole play is about the night or the second night before he goes. It's all about. And he's making one desperate effort again to get in touch with his father. And his father was, I suppose, a typical Irishman at the time, a very good man, good provider, but not very good at intimacy or communication, or telling people he loved them, or facing emotional issues. And then, so the play is around this, and at one stage, Gar remembers that when he was a small child, maybe about 6 or 7, one particular day he was out in a boat with his father, and that day he wore a lovely blue hat. And his father was in great humour that day, and he sang a song, and they were very close to each other. And the play, Clonard put it, the tension rises. Gar says to himself, my God, that's it. If I can get him back to think about that day, and if I mention it to him, and if he can remember the blue hat that I wore, and if he can remember the closeness that we had that particular day, God, maybe I'd get through to him. I'd break down this barrier. So the tension rises. And to get to the point, Gar mentioned this day to his father, and he mentions the blue hat, and the father remembers it all right, but he can't face it. And he tells the young Gar, no, I don't remember it. He brushes it aside. And that's how the play ends, with young Gar going off to Philadelphia in the morning, frustrated and lonely because he couldn't get in touch with his father. Now, I'm telling you that because I think when it comes to prayer, very often we're a little bit like Gar. We think that what we have to do is get in touch with the God who's distant, who's out there, who's away, so that God, maybe if we're lucky, we'll get in touch with God and we'll get close to Him. But even more so, we often think that the things that are significant for us, the ordinary things that we're doing every day, like loving and hating and working and singing and dancing and getting on with each other and all, that all these things, when we come to pray, in some way we have to leave them aside and talk to God about holy things. Do you know what I'm saying? In other words, that the things that are significant for us are not significant for God. So what I want to put before to you tonight more than anything else is that it's in precisely the key areas of our lives that God speaks to us. First of all, I want to